Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Okay, so this video is a bit of a rant. Apologies for being able to see my full face, but I'm going to be driving, so to stabilise the camera, you're on a camera holder thingy-majiggy, but the other side of the camera is stabilised by the car. So yeah, you get me. So I have sprained my ankle, so you might hear the occasional ouch. But I've actually came on to have a bit of a rant. Okay, so prepare yourselves, people, prepare yourselves. So last weekend was a long weekend for Scotland. Our academic year starts in August in Scotland, and instead of our neighbouring countries' September start. So I decided to go to London for the weekend, take the kids to see their dad, and for me to go and meet up with some friends and go see my old work, because I resigned during lockdown, so I didn't get to say goodbye to everyone. So yeah, I thought it would have been nice to get away for the weekend, and it was amazing. Okay, but thanks to the shortage in petrol, for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, Google it, it's ridiculous. Just to clarify, there is no shortage of petrol. It's just a whole bunch of people running to petrol stations because of one thing being said, taking it to the extreme and leaving all sorts of people, emergency services, without petrol. Anyway, I was driving home on Sunday with the kids, so because of that I had to ensure that I stopped every so often to make sure that I had enough petrol to get home, because from London to Glasgow it's like just under 400 miles, so I needed to make sure that my tank was full. So I stopped at a garage and I was looking to get a cup of tea. A garage is a petrol station for Scottish people, by the way, just saying. So I stopped at a garage to get petrol and to go get a cup of tea. Got my petrol. There was 2 tills and one person serving, an old guy. He gave me a sort of look when I came in, but I was wearing a green abaya, green niqab, green hijab. I'm not the norm, I'm sure, in that area. So I don't take things like that personal, okay? There was a hot food till where someone was standing getting served. I stood behind that because that's where you get the tea. At this point I was the only other person in the shop with the guy in front of me and the server. He serves the guy, gives him his hot food, that guy leaves. I'm supposed to be next, but by that time someone had walked out and went to the petrol till. So that guy leaves the till that I'm at to go to the petrol till to serve the guy. Now, I should have been next, but okay, I was thinking maybe the guy's not switched on or something. He'll go serve that guy and then come back. So I wait patiently, because I'm a patient person. Well, ish. With this sort of stuff I'm patient, So he goes and serves that guy. Whilst he's serving that guy, 3 other guys walk in and stand in the petrol queue. I'm still standing only a couple of spaces away from there at the hot food till, waiting to pay for my petrol there as well as get a cup of tea. So he served that guy left. Then he continued to serve one of the 3 people who just walked in. So at this point I get angry because the guy looked at us, so I could see that this was now becoming something else. And unfortunately, when you're a woman in hijab and niqab, people somehow believe either you don't speak English or that you have a weak mentality and won't say anything, will just sit there oppressed, like an oppressed, nice little, you know, female. Okay? So then, I let them finish serving that guy. Another guy walks in, so there's still 3 people standing in the petrol queue. I let them serve that guy, expecting for me to get served next, and then he goes on to serve another guy. So at this point I have to intervene because I have kids in the car. I have to travel to Scotland. I had a long drive ahead of me at that point, you know, and it was so cringily feeble, but at the same time annoying. So I went over to him and I said, excuse me, I'm waiting here to be served, you know, I would like to buy tea as well. And he's like, the tea machine isn't working, you'll need to go all the way to the back of this queue. You know, not only was his tone ridiculous, considering the fact that he's the one left me standing there knowing that I was there, but it was almost as if he was building up to say this to me. He was getting ready to say this to me. So then that irritated the life out of me. I made a comment like, you know, you could have told me I was standing there, you know, a really feeble comment, because to be honest with you, see Islamophobia like this, because that is what it is. A guy seeing me as a Muslim, not wanting to serve me, wanting to leave me standing there because, you know, who am I? My time isn't valuable. I'm just a musie, you know? It's so pathetic. I've had grown men come right in front of me as if they're going to punch me. So this is nothing, you know, it's so cringy, sleazy, pathetic, immature. To be fair, it isn't really worth my time and energy. But let me tell you the reason why I'm talking about it. The 3 guys who were left standing at the queue at that time, they were guys. Not one of them offered for me to take their place. And the worst of it is, one guy who was standing in the middle of the queue was Muslim. He was Muslim. Now, I'm not expecting him to get involved or say anything to the guy or anything like that, because if it's not worth my time, it's not worth anybody else's time. Everybody else's time is more valuable than mine. However, I would expect the common decency for the guy to say, sister, here, come take my place. Every single guy in there saw me stand in the queue, saw him serve 2 other people before me, and said nothing. You know, the world isn't just a bad place because there's bad people, and the world is also a bad place because too many people can't say anything. Too many people keep silent. What does that say to me as a Muslim sister? That even when I'm faced with hardship in this country and Muslims are around, I can't have full faith that they will support me and back me up. That is so sad. We're an ummah. We shouldn't even need to ask for help and support. It should be expected. If I ever saw a sister on the street, you know, dealing with some sort of abuse or whatever, it would also be my issue. It would also be my problem. It wouldn't just be the sister's problem. We're an ummah, we're a family. I spoke about this in another video, but what that situation showed me was that just because a Muslim is around doesn't mean that you can count on them. Not in this country anyway. It was so disappointing. But it also shows us that people have no manners. People have no respect for the next person. You know, the Prophet ﷺ said that he came to perfect manners. And imagine if everybody's manners were in check. We wouldn't have situations like this. In fact, all the hard talks and hard situations, living alongside people who have different principles and values, all of it would be so much easier if we had simple, basic, common decency, consideration, compassion, empathy, and manners. Honestly, absolutely shocking. That gutted me more than the guy telling me to get to the end of the queue. You know, it really, really did. And I really hope that that brother felt bad about standing there and doing nothing. Like I said, I didn't expect him to say anything to the guy, but not even to show some sort of support for the clear pathetic injustice that I just faced. You know, I really hope he feels guilty, because as a Muslim male, even though I don't know him and all the rest of it, but there should be, you know, gira there for his Muslim sister and what he's just witnessed. And the guy was aware. The guy seen everything. He looked at me as it was going on. I looked at him, you know, because like I said, I was expecting for one of the men, especially the Muslim, but at least one of them, you know, and maybe that's my problem. I expected that one of them would say, you know, come in front of us, you know, we could see you there. Nothing. As Muslims, we should have that gira for the religion. We should have that gira for each other. When something happens, especially if it's happening because people are being judgmental because you are Muslim, then you expect some moral support at the very least. We complain about the youth. We complain they lack in their morals, they lack in their principles, their values, they lack in their respect for their elders and blah, blah, blah. But who are they getting it for? We can't just blame it on the entertainment industry, social media, etc. You know, we hold a level of responsibility. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, what can we do? We rely on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us amongst the best of people, make us the best versions of ourselves, and may we always be conscious of our duty towards our brothers and sisters within the Ummah and those outside the Ummah. Ameen. Anyway, rant over. I'm going for a tea. Hopefully this time injustice free. I'll see you all very soon. Salam. Any mistakes made in this video is a reflection of me and my limitations as a human being, and any good in this video is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, God the Almighty.